everybody, it's AJ and Katie here at AJ and Katie Gaming, and we are here to talk about our games of 2023. Our top 10, in fact. We're dressed up for Halloween, and it was time. It was just time. AJ is here. I promise, it's him.
It's me? It's me. It's me.
Oh, it's you? Okay, good. God. Oof.
I am AJ. Like Katie said, these were our Halloween costumes for 2024, and we wanted to dress up here at the end of the year to talk about our game of the year for an entire year ago.
Wow.
This is the latest we've ever done this.
Yeah.
We have some special wine. Spellbound. It's spooky for our Halloween costumes, and we're talking game of the year 23.
Spellbound. Wow. Look at the cap. There you go.
Is it focused?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take off my mask for the wine.
Alright, it's a screw top. Don't have to make the squeaky noises that we normally make. Whoa. 2023 really blew our minds. It was very difficult to choose our top 10, I would say. But it's funny, I feel like if we had made it like a top 15, it would have gone a lot smoother.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was really those like end ones. And that's something you were going to talk about. But there's those end ones that were really tricky, you know?
For me, between 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, those five, between 8 and 12 was very difficult to place.
Yes. What's the plan for you?
Alright,
How are you
folks.
going to do this?
I've taken off my head.
AZ-less.
Feel like the man in the iron mask. Cheers, b-boy.
Cheers, BB.
To 2023 in gaming
In gaming.
with a Sega.
Oh, Joe. Cheers. It's got some kind of fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Appley.
It's as sweet as a freshly bloomed orchard.
I cannot believe. We haven't talked about 2023 games yet.
Yeah, this is the longest we've ever waited, folks.
We do things at our own pace. We march to the beat of our own drum, if you will.
I like our drum beat.
If we're talking about a game, we're going to be talking about spoilers, so just watch out. Just watch out if you don't want to know things about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Just fast forward and know, hey, AJ and Katie thought that was a cool game.
Mm-hmm.
I should play it.
Honorable mentions. Because Katie's doing an honorable mention this year, I had to one-up her and have 2 honorable mentions. So,
Only right.
I sort of have a top 12. So I'm going to go ahead and do my 2, and then Katie's going to do her 1. So my essentially number 12 game of the year for 2023 is Aliens Dark Descent, which was a game that I did not expect to like as much as I did, and at first I didn't like it as much. There were some technical issues. Honestly, if it weren't for the technical issues, it'd be higher up, but I'm a huge Alien, the franchise, fan. This game really had some just funny like one-liners in it, and some little things that, like, if you're an Alien fan, it really kind of tickled that.
You had a lot of fun.
That being said, I did platinum it. I did have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then my number 11 is just like, this is so hard to keep it off my top 10. That's another reason why this one in particular is a honorable mention. But Super Mario Bros. Wonder was such a fun game. I'm not as big of a 2D Mario fan, especially the more modern ones on like Wii and Wii U. But this game like just introduced so many things that were just like creative, interesting mechanics, things that you could do with Mario, and it was really an awesome game to play. It got better as it went on. It was really, really fun, and it's really hard to keep it out of my top 10 as well, but I'm honoring it here as an honorable mention, so those are my 2 honorable mentions.
Nice. My honorable mention is Night in the Woods. And I'm going to take this chance to say, to remind everyone, if you're a returning viewer, that we are diehard physical media fans, and we are counting games that came out physically in 2023 as games that came out in 2023 because they did to us. We weren't going to play it if it was digital only. That's just how we are. So, there you go. Night in the Woods came out in 2023. It was so exciting.
It's a 2023 video game, folks. Alright, so now our top 10 begins.
Yes.
So my number 10 game of 2023 is Night in the Woods. So I have it a spot higher than Katie. This was a game that made me, at least, feel nostalgic. I don't know what it was about the game, the mood, the music, hanging out with your friends, getting older, I guess, and becoming an adult. And then it was just like a witty and fun game. Greg was hilarious, doing crimes with Greg. It's funny, I liked him better than B. I liked B too, but I hung out with B more because I thought she needed a friend. And then I got like the B ending, and I was like, wait, like, I want the Greg ending. Like, you know, I was just hanging out with B because I felt like she needed a friend.
I said to you really early on in the story, I was like, this game is making me feel nostalgic for a life I haven't lived. And like that just continued the whole time. And all of the stories and all of the people you interact with, I really feel like it is about almost like just an existential crisis. And you are just kind of dealing with that, you know? So it's really, it was cool. And you're just little animals in, you know, in the woods.
That was something I told Katie, is that being non-human animals was such a big thing for me. I would not have liked the game as much if that were not the case. It lived up to the hype for me, anticipating its physical release for so many years, and it finally coming out.
My number 10, getting into it, is Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Can I just spit out that that's my number 9?
Yes, I would love that.
So that's my number 9. It's always nice when it works out that way.
Yes.
Go on.
Well, we found out later on that it was planned to be a DLC, and they decided to make it a full game instead, but a shorter game. And it kind of went back to the roots of the original Assassin's Creed in scope, kind of, I guess you could say. It was just really fun. I mean, that's what I always say. It was always, every game I'm going to tell you it was fun. It was on my top 10, it was fun.
Like you said, the scope, it was so nice, especially after, I mean, Origins, Odyssey especially were great, but even Valhalla was really fun. But like going from those games, going back to Mirage, it felt really like refreshing having like a shorter experience. Like it's like hard because, you know, you want a game to be long, you want a game to be worth the money, but it's like sometimes you just want something to be more concise. And also it felt so much like a more like older Assassin's Creed game. Some people feel that way, some people don't. We're in the camp that does feel like that it felt like the original Assassin's Creed games, but, you know, obviously, mechanically, it was more like the modern ones. It's just, there was a lot that made it feel like the older ones, and we really liked that. Like, we felt like that was a fun thing. The game didn't overstay its welcome, you know, like, I platinumed Valhalla, I didn't have to do that, but there were times where Valhalla, like, it felt like, it was like, okay, like, this is kind of dragging on a little bit.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm the one that chose to platinum it, like, you could just beat the game if you want, you don't have to keep playing. Just to say, I liked how short it was. I don't know, I really liked Assassin's Creed Mirage. I hope they do more like that. I'm really looking forward to Shadows, but I hope they do more like that. Maybe alternate or something. They could crank more of them out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me too. My number 9 is Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I feel like it was just really neat getting to go to all these worlds. I mean, you know, we're Star Wars fans, so it's like, this is our vibe. This is just what we like. The space exploration and getting to, you know, do lightsaber stuff and getting some Jedi and Sith lore and whatnot.
This little BD1.
Little BD1. That is a huge draw. Huge draw. I want a little BD1. Aww, so cute.
There he is.
I love BD1.
Nehru's kind of like a BD1 for us.
She is.
So is Coog, really. We got 2 BD1s, folks. Alright, moving on to my number 8. Which it's a little hard, another one that's a little hard to put low down. Dead Space Remake. So I love the original Dead Space, okay? If this had not been a remake, it would have been a lot higher than 8. But I always have to consider that things are remakes, and sometimes remakes make it really high, and sometimes they fall down to 8. But
still on the top 10.
It's still in the top 10. It's just, I'm going to talk more about it. Hint, hint. So I'm going to kind of save that. So now, what's your 8?
My number 8 is Lies of P. And I think we'll talk about that more later.
I think we will. All right. So moving on to my number 7 then. This one's a bit of a surprise for me, especially like from my perspective. I mean, just saying it out loud. My number 7, Killer Frequency. It is a pretty small scale game that I started playing. I didn't even know it existed. Katie got it for me. I was playing it and I'm just like, this is such an interesting concept, but how long is it going to be able to go on for? You're a DJ in a radio booth, and it's sort of like an 80s slasher, but from just the perspective of this radio guy who's getting phone calls from people who are being murdered
In the town.
in the town, and you're in the booth and you're doing like talks with people, trying to get them out of sticky situations, and like puzzles are given to you, and the way that they give you the puzzles are like from this dude's perspective, and it's just really, I think, creative, and I mean, dare I say, ingenious, the way that they made this game and put this game together. I really enjoyed playing it. I think about it a lot. I like know the story. I played it multiple times, got the platinum. Like, it's like one of those things that it's like, I remember it all like backwards and front, but I still think about playing it sometimes just because it's like, it was that fun. Yeah, so Killer Frequency.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend it. It's a game that maybe a lot of you haven't heard of. You should try it out.
Yeah.
Sell them at Burger King.
Another thing that, as a viewer, I was like very into in Killer Frequency was the voice acting. I thought was so excellent and just so immersive. You know, like I was just so into it. I was so into the story and all the even the characters just being voices, and you're just this. You know, you don't see anybody. Maybe you see a figure actually, but yeah, it was really cool, and the music as well was really vibey. I'll say. My number 7 is Spider-Man 2.
Which happens to be my number 6.
Wow.
We get to talk about it together.
Nice. Same mechanics as the first game and Miles Morales, and therefore extremely fun, extremely rewarding gameplay, and. I mean, just getting to swing through New York. I think I probably said like the same thing for the first game, honestly, but very fun.
I want to say, mechanically, you were saying, you know, for the most part, it's the same. The difference is the Venom mechanics. Pretty sweet.
Yes.
Pretty sweet stuff with Venom, I gotta say.
They added a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
They added a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It's not the same game.
If you like Spider-Man, not even love, like, you have to play these games, like, for real.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I would say we're like pretty lukewarm Spider-Man fans.
Yeah.
if we were hardcore Spider-Man fans, this would probably be our game of the year, right? Or at least number 2 or 3, like way up there. I mean, 6 and 7 is still, or 6 and 7 for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
6 and 7 is still high up there, but yeah, I mean, very fun. There I go.
Mm-hmm.
Very good time.
My number 6 is Hogwarts Legacy. I feel like Hogwarts Legacy is the game that every child who grew up loving Harry Potter wanted to exist for their entire childhood, teens, and through adulthood. And here it is. Here it is. You get to be a wizard. You get to create your own character. You get to choose your house. You get to do all these adventures. You get to go. It is so much whimsy. Huge world, open world. We both commented, I'm going to probably take something you were going to say, but we both felt it was so much like Skyrim, which is one of my favorite games. So yeah, I mean, a pretty easy winner for me. Pretty easy winner for me.
You know, I want to add, it's not on my list. I did platinum it. I platinum a lot of games, folks. I did platinum it, but I really enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy. I really enjoyed the animal, the fantastic beasts breeding, going out and catching them and then coming back, putting them in your little environments and then being able to breed them and stuff, and then you like have babies and you go and feed the babies. I'm just like, okay, like, that was awesome.
Yeah. I feel like the music was really like soothing and just like, again, immersive, like just really put you into the world. It was really cool.
And it was really cool too as a viewer, like whether it was me or Katie watching the other one play. It was really nice to take these soothing naps, just like with Skyrim, to that music. It lulls you to sleep. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you're just wandering this wide world.
Yeah.
Exploring.
Merlin's Trials.
It's not that it's not challenging. There are challenges, and yeah, it's not just not pure whimsy. There's some fighting and stuff. A lot of fighting.
Yeah, a lot of fighting. Yeah. We're into the top 5, folks. We're getting into the nitty gritty. My number 5 game, and this is another one that's tough. I don't know what to say. It's tough. I do it all the time. I just complain about having to put games lower. My number 5 is a little surprising, even to me. It is a Resident Evil 4 remake. And again, it's a remake. I know I put like Resident Evil 2 remake like way up there a few years ago. I think at number 2. But it's like, okay, I mean, I like Resident Evil 2 better than Resident Evil 4. I do.
That's true.
I'm an outlier, okay? Everyone's like, Resident Evil 4 is the best one. It's not my favorite one. I do really like Resident Evil 4, but it's not my favorite one. It never was my favorite one. I do like it a lot, though, and I think, you know, Leon is a really cool character, and there's a lot of sweet stuff in this game, a lot of cool bosses. I love Del Lago. I just think that because it's a remake, I had to be a little harsh on it this year, considering, like, for instance, I don't like it as much as Resident Evil 2. But it's still just, it's so hard for me to put a Resident Evil game at number 5, because I love Resident Evil. I do. I just love Resident Evil. But this reminds me of Resident Evil 7. It was at number 5, I believe, back in 2017.
Wow.
But that year, we had quite the gods. All that being said, okay, yada yada yada, I digress. Resident Evil 4 Remake is my number 5, and we are going to be talking a little more about that soon, so I'm going to leave it at that. What's your number 5, B-Boy?
My number 5 is Paleo Pines, and let me tell you, it is absolutely just a cutesy farming game, and it is cozy as hell, and if you like farming games, you should try it. And if you like collecting dinosaurs as if they are somewhat like Pokemon, kind of, I mean, you should try it. It's a little bit grindy, as are most of these types of farming games, but I had an absolute blast. I haven't beaten it or anything, I just played it a bunch, and
you played it
you were
a lot.
gonna get into it because the aspect that really made you interested, I feel like, was that there are shinies.
Yeah.
There are rare variations of the colors of dinos, and there are so many dinosaurs to collect and catch and sing to or play your flute for. Oh my gosh, it's adorable. It's such a cute game. I loved it. Love it.
I have not played Paleo Pines. I've watched Katie play it a lot. Like she said, she has not beaten it, but she has played it quite a bit. One of the reasons why she hasn't advanced in the story, I think, is because of the dinosaur color variation hunting.
Yes.
And yeah, I did get into it. I got into that with you watching. Like, okay, wait, let's look at that group. You know,
Yeah.
is that group gonna have like a different color this day?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been fun, and it will continue to be fun because you're not done with it.
Yeah, I'm not. I've put a pause in it to play other games, but yeah, very cute, very silly, and I love it.
Awesome. Well said. We are in the make or break moment here, folks. Top 4. All right.
This is a big deal, people.
This is a big deal.
Everybody stop what you're doing.
Stop what you're doing and listen. Because my number 4, how's my hair look? My number 4 game of 2023. This is another one I'm so happy came out physically, and it did not disappoint. I wanted it so bad. And you know, I let Katie be the maestro of some of these things. Like, like, we are both, like, for years now, we have been pretty, like, involved in the video game industry, and we know, like, what's coming, you know, down the pipeline and stuff, but I try to let Katie be more involved in, like, what's going to come out physically in terms of indie games, and then she can, like, surprise them, so surprise me with them. And Scorn was one of those games. Scorn is my number 4 game of 2023. It came out, I don't know what year it actually like launched or anything, but it came out physically in 2023. Katie got it for me, and I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Scorn is physical. And I played it. and it was as cool as the trailers looked. I'm a big fan, as you know, we said it just in this video, of the Alien franchise, and so I'm a big fan of Giger's art style, and that's what this game, I think, definitely took heavy inspiration from. So the art style I really liked, and then the gameplay was a lot more involved than I realized it would be, and it was so messed up. You did so much like slicing and grinding. There were things in the game that they're like asking you to do that I'm just like, I have never done this before in a video game in my life, and it is so fucked up. And to be honest, it was awesome. Like, I'm not a psychopath, but it's like, it was awesome. Like, if you like that art style, I can't recommend Scorn enough. It was a very deranged and nightmarish game with a lot of cool, like, surprises. There were moments that it was just like, oh, whoa! And, I mean, it honestly blew me away. I mean, it's another one of those games like Killer Frequency that I'm surprised I have it so high up on my list. I just had to honor it. I had to give it the recognition it deserved. I'm a big Scorn fan. If you like the Giger art style, especially, or if you just like grotesque things, I cannot recommend Scorn enough.
How long do you think it is to play through it?
I platinumed it in I think 9 hours.
Platinumed it, but how long to beat it?
Well, I think 8.5 hours. And that's for somebody who really likes to go through and look at every nook and cranny. I'm a very thorough gamer. I'm sure people could beat it way faster than that, but I like to try out everything, and if I get past a certain point, I might be like, oh, I didn't get a checkpoint yet, I'm going to deliberately die because I want to make sure I go see that, or if I can go back, I'll go back and see that. And then to platinum it, it was literally just a decision you make near the beginning of the game. You just have to make the other decision. So I played for an extra just 10 or 20, 30 minutes just to get that other trophy.
Gotcha.
But it was a very fast game, and I would say it's an 8-hour play.
Okay.
Probably for someone who's not like me, maybe 6-5 hours. I don't know.
Okay. I remember you asking me if I wanted to play at all, and I was like, no.
Katie watched me the entire time.
No.
So you saw it from start to finish.
Yeah, I observed it all, but I was like, no, I don't want to do that. So yeah, pretty creepy. My number 4 is Final Fantasy 16, and sneak peek.
Well, I'm going to say it right now. It's my number 3.
Oh my gosh, I forgot.
So we get to talk about it together again.
Yes, that's perfect.
You played more Final Fantasy games as a child/teenager than I did. I would personally not have classified myself as a Final Fantasy fan. I played a handful of them, and then I did beat Final Fantasy 15 a few years ago, or however many years ago. But Final Fantasy 16, I loved this game.
Yeah.
And you loved this game.
Me too. Yeah.
I am a romantic, I think, when it comes to video games. I think one of the reasons I was really into The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is I really wanted to romance Yennefer and scorn Triss. I was like, no, and I get into the relationships a lot of the characters, if it's between the protagonist and somebody else. So I was really into Clive and Jill. That was a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And Ambrosia. I love Ambrosia. And I love Ifrit and all the giant Godzilla battles and all the icons that you can get. Just so cool. I was such a fan of being able to mix and match your different abilities to make combat more suited to your play style. It was a great game. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, nerd? How about you?
Yeah. Yeah, all of the characters, I feel like the characters were really strong. That was something that we kind of felt in 15, was that the characters weren't as strong, but maybe that's just our preference. But we really enjoyed all the characters. Again, all just technical stuff. It's all the voice acting and all the music. Oh my gosh, the music. So, just, yeah, really, honestly, I feel like the word epic is overused, but really an epic experience, especially with the gigantic battles, the elemental clashes. Just, it was all so cool.
But the ending was whoa, what the hell?
Yes.
I'm not going to say why.
Yes. My number 3 is the Dead Space remake, I had never played the original Dead Space. This was my first time playing it, and wow, I was in a world of derangement. Is that what I kept saying?
You were like, this is deranged.
At every experience, every enemy that popped up, this is deranged, okay? They have you on the edge of your seat. They have you so tense, so stressed with the music, with the environmental sounds, and just having like lights flicker and like sparks pop, and you're on this abandoned space station. It's so isolated, and you're just like, stressed.
Yeah. You said that really well.
I don't know if I did or not. I just said a bunch of things that I felt.
The sounds. The sound design of that game is so awesome. And it like sets the mood. The sounds in the environment set the mood where you're just like walking and they can just make you shit your pants by just dropping like a single enemy into the room with you. Like it's really a fun game. If you want to be scared, that's definitely a good one to go pick up. And you know, I did play years and years ago Dead Space, and I mean I love Dead Space. I do. It was hard to put it low on my list, but it was a very, very faithful and well made remake.
I did watch you play the original.
You did.
So I had that experience going into it, knowing what I was getting into. But yeah, just everything's the same.
Yeah.
You got your cool space suit thing going on. You got your line cutter that you're blasting off limbs of these freaky creatures that are attacking you with their big weird claws.
Then you get to pick the limbs up and skewer them.
Yes, that was awesome. Seriously, an awesome game. I feel like I could replay that every year.
Wow, maybe we should.
For spooky times.
Alright, folks. It is time for my number 2 game of 2023, which, let me say, if a certain franchise didn't have yet another incredible game come out in 2023, Lies of P would be my probably game of the year. Well, I mean, it would be, actually. Yes, it would be my game of the year of 2023. Lies of P, as it stands, is my number 2 game of 2023, and it really took me by surprise. I know that I like FromSoft Souls games, but not FromSoft Souls games are pretty hit or miss, especially one that is billed as a retelling of the story of Pinocchio, which, let's be honest, isn't one of my favorite stories. It was never one of my favorite stories, even as a kid. It's just like, okay, you know. And then coming into the game, it's like you are essentially Pinocchio. You're in a reimagined Pinocchio world where there's all kinds of like dark works at play. This alternate take on the Pinocchio world was so interesting and messed up, and there were so many good enemy types, so many great bosses, which is critical to a Souls type of game. Very cool bosses. You had like different arms that you could slot in as prosthetic limbs to have different abilities to kind of change the way that you fight, your gameplay style. It was like a beautiful world. It was just well put together, sound-wise, voice acting-wise. There were a lot of interesting items and ideas. It was just like so creative. And then on top of that, it's just you remember, oh yeah, I'm playing Pinocchio. Sort of, like basically. I had a really awesome time with it. I played it a lot. I did get the platinum. They basically were like, hey, we're going to do like a Wizard of Oz one next. And it's going to be like a universe kind of thing. And I'm just like, this is sick. I'm pretty psyched. So, yeah. I'm a big fan of Lies of P. That's my number 2 game of 2023, folks. What's your number 2 game of 2023, nerd? How about you?
My number 2 game of 2023 is Resident Evil 4 Remake. Before you, I would have been like, I am not playing a Resident Evil game, but if you've been here for a long time, you've heard me talk about this anyway. But I can't believe to say something like this, but Resident Evil is one of my favorite gaming franchises. I have such a blast with these games. Yes, they're scary, but it's like, it's so much more fun than it is scary. The reason we loved 2 and 3 so much was because they were so different from the originals. And so that's, I think that's why they fell or were higher on your list in the past. And this one was lower for you. But I never played the original 4, and I know what it looked like. I watched you play the original, but I never played it. And so getting to like play through this and have this like, fresh experience with it, it's just a blast. It is so much fun. I don't know if I need to go on about just how much pure fun Resident Evil games are. The shooting, the enemies, the silly stuff that happens. It's great.
I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. I'm so proud that I've made you such a big Resident Evil fan.
I am. I love it.
I feel like never has a game, I truly think I believe this, I'm trying to think of any example, because like I don't count games like The Last of Us, because like Ellie was capable. I feel like never before has a game that has like an incapable escort been this fun. Like Ashley, you would think could be like a game breaker, and having to save her is actually pretty fun. When she's getting carried away and you headshot some dude from like across the map and he like drops her as you're just amidst the other chaos, like I really feel like it somehow adds to the game. It doesn't detract from it like a lot of like escort kind of games or missions are. I also feel like, again, this is a remake, so it's like, well, they did a good job of remaking the original. So I'm kind of more just talking about the original, but I love the enemies, I love the bosses. We love Resident Evil 8 Village, and a lot of the things from Village that we love actually kind of took inspiration from 4. Kind of like the like enemies, the like kind of villager people, and like them like yelling at you and stuff. I really love it. I really love the feeling that it brings to me playing and experiencing that game. It's an awesome game. Totally worth playing the remake, even if you've played the original. Resident Evil 4.
I don't know how much I need to go into depth here about Resident Evil in general, but in this game, I feel like the combat and the puzzles and the treasure collecting, like everything is on point. Everything is so just satisfying, and it's so rewarding and just pure fun. It's challenging. Again, it's challenging, but it's just really fun.
Alright, so Katie and I are going to do our number 1 game together for 2023. Sound the alarms, because this one's going to blow people's minds. You will never see it coming. Katie's and AJ's number 1 game of 2023 is The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Wow. What a surprise. So what can I say? We love Breath of the Wild, that's no secret. And Tears of the Kingdom is more Breath of the Wild, but they added verticality to the map, both up and down. It kind of felt like Skyward Sword a little bit with the sky, and then there were the depths where there was just like endless exploration, and I mean it was the gameplay loop was so addictive, and then on top of that it was like a Breath of the Wild game. Like you didn't even really have to do much of the depths.
Yeah.
But I wanted to do all the depths.
Yeah. Just clearing that map is so much, just cathartic almost. Like it's like just clearing it out. It's like, oh, I'm finding everything. It's so much fun.
And then it was like they kind of did things that made us feel like Ocarina of Time throwbacks, which I've said this, we have both said this before. Ocarina of Time is both of our favorite video game of all time. It's the reason we got married. It was like the thing. No, but we really did go to elementary school together when it came out. It did some things that we felt throwbacks to Ocarina of Time, and that kind of endeared us to it even more. There were just things that it did that turned it up to an 11 from Breath of the Wild somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of people, just like, kind of like fans and critics, I guess you could say. A lot of people like Breath of the Wild better. It's like really hard for me. I might say I like Tears of the Kingdom better.
Mm.
Like I don't know how, but yeah.
It's really hard for me to say. Because I think I would say I like Breath of the Wild better, but I found Tears of the Kingdom to be a lot more challenging. And it was like, it just depends on what you're looking for. Because if you're looking for a more challenging experience than Breath of the Wild, which is pretty easy most of the time, I'll say, from my perspective, I'll say, pretty easy most of the time. It's like, I feel like Tears of the Kingdom was a lot more challenging. And the building of things was crazy, just so innovative. So you have to be so creative to accomplish what you're trying to do, and I'm not always at that point all the time. Like I'm not always ready for that.
Building things was like such another layer to how deep this game was. Being able to just kind of like glue stuff together and create things, see like what kinds of things you could do, even if it wasn't necessary, but just for fun, was such an interesting innovation to this game, to the Breath of the Wild format, and really helped make it that much more entertaining for me. There were things that normally it's like I'd walk in, I'd be like, all right, that needs doing, you do it, you leave, shut the book on that little section, but instead it's like, well, how can I do that by using like this? And I'm going to try to like make a contraption that can do it for me, or that can like, get it done in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
And a video we actually never ended up making, but maybe we will someday, but that I had been working on was there's this bridge with a Gleeok in the middle of the bridge. And the Gleeok, especially early in the game, kicks your ass.
It seems insurmountable.
It seems insurmountable. And so as the game's going on and, we're getting stronger, I thought it'd be funny to kind of have an advancing plot where I'm building a contraption to try to get close to and defeat the Gleeok. And so it starts out with like this rickety little cart that's essentially driving towards the Gleeok, and he just like zaps me. I only have a few hearts and I just die, right? But as it goes on, I have more hearts, I have better armor, I have better things I'm putting on this contraption, and I'm driving down the bridge and being able to get closer and closer to just easily beating the Gleeok. And so we never ended up finishing or making the video, but that's the kind of stuff that you can do in this game, is just kind of like see what you can do in certain situations. And I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I don't want to say definitively, okay? I don't want the record to state that I like it better than Breath of the Wild, but I might like it better than Breath of the Wild. It's like if you were to ask me for my favorite video game list of all time right now, I would have a hard time figuring out which one of those two I like better. I just want that to be known.
I'll say the same. I'm not committing. It's crazy how different they are for how similar. I mean, the engine is the same, but for how similar they are in so many ways, it's so different. It's just what you're looking for.
Yeah.
It's less about whimsy. That's my thing. I guess I just want whimsy because it's less about the whimsy and it's more about fighting and more about like figuring stuff out, like how you're gonna accomplish these things that you're trying to do. I saw somebody on the internet say that it was like your Wile E. Coyote. I thought that was pretty funny.
You're Wile E. Coyote.
Because I kind of agree with that. It's like you're making all this like silly stuff to like try to kill whatever you're trying to kill in some funny way instead of just like slashing it.
Ganondorf's like, me.
Legacy dungeons.
Legacy dungeons, dude. There was just stuff that they did that made it feel like old days in Japan, and we were there for it.
Yeah, we were so there for it. It was one of the very few things in Breath of the Wild that as we were playing, we were like, are they really not going to have any like dungeons? And like, sure enough, they didn't. They had the divine beasts that you like go through, but it's just, it wasn't the same. And I mean, it felt like dungeons, like classic dungeons.
It did. Yeah.
In Tears of the Kingdom.
It was a step towards that, at least, right?
Yeah. As we were playing it, I feel like each ability that unlocked on the ability wheel, we were like, what? How is this a thing? Like, how does this work?
Yeah.
And we were like, we were in shock every time the new thing came up on the ability wheel. Just, I mean, there was so much to do, so much
Just going through the ceiling
to explore, and so yes, exactly.
Yeah, there were times where like we'd be like doing something and it would just be like, can I go through the ceiling right now? And it's like, yep, you can go through the ceiling right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just such cool mechanics and such cool abilities.
Yeah. We're Zelda nerds, folks.
We are big time.
We're Zelda heads.
We're Zelda heads.
Alright, B-boy.
That was our top 10 games of the year of 2023.
Yes, ma'am.
Here in the year of 2024.
Almost 25, and it probably will be for you folks. And that's okay because our drum says it's okay. The one that we're marching to.
Yes.
The beat of. Alright, folks, thanks for tuning in. I don't have a pocket square, so there's nothing up my sleeve today. But sorry I took my mask off. I was just like, I'm going to end up having to type out subtitles for myself.
I think it was the best choice.
Yeah. And we still have to talk about quite a bit of things. We have to talk about a lot. I'm not even going to list it off. You get it, though. We're only at Game of the Year 2023, so you get it. You get it. Hope you all enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to add? Tons. We are Katie and AJ, and this is AJ and KT Gaming. And we will see you again in the next one.
I think we all have a little psycho mantis in us.
That's all, folks.